Hey guys, M.V.K there. How's everybody doing on their end? Hope everybody's well, as always. Welcome back to the highly overlong due second episode of this series. Um, I apologize, guys, for it. It's just you just don't want to do the same old stuff. And but as a wrestling fan for over 20 plus years now, um, I put a lot of stuff that I was going to talk about on pushed it back to talk about this because this is kind of these two topics are what's really getting talked about now in the world of wrestling, and I thought I'd give my 2 cents into the whole matter as well. Um, and the first one we're going to talk about is Daniel Bryanson, the American Dragon, Daniel Bryan, whichever one you want to use. That's his real name, Daniel Bryanson. Um, has retired from the square circle. This Monday passed. Even before that, I was not on social media. I wasn't on the web. I wasn't doing anything that morning, Monday morning. So I didn't see his tweet or anything about that he has to retire. So by the time I get home from work and hear this and see this, I'm just like, tell me this is not happening. This is just a swerve, right? Hearing all these people talk about he's going to be on and he's going to talk. And he does. He comes out, cut his hair, trimmed his beard. He looks great. You know, I've always said, I wish he kind of cut his hair and trimmed his beard a little bit. But there was a reason why he trimmed it, and I thought it was for a good cause. Respect that a lot about Daniel. Um, but he comes out in front of his home state. Uh, it wasn't in his hometown, but his home state, definitely, Seattle. And he comes out and he tells people, yeah, regardless, he's going on, he says, with a heavy heart, in a sense. You could see it on his face, he didn't want to do this, but on his face, you could see he has to retire. Now, why? Why was the instincts of retiring? He gone on record to talk about, due to injury, the ramifications of concussions. Just doesn't happen in football, people. Yeah. And that'll do it for you all the time. Just that'll literally do it for you. You start suffering multiple concussions, and it seems like you're okay. Your doctor says you're okay. You get another evaluation from another doctor. They'll say you're okay, and then but then somebody else may be different. But he has to retire, and he was also looking at it from a point of view of the fact that he wants to be a father. I think any red-blooded male, including yours truly, wants to experience that. You want to be a father. You want to help bring new life into this world and be able to raise it and nurture it and, pass on your teachings to the next generation. I can understand that. I understand that very well. He talked about meeting his wife through wrestling. He gave 18 plus years, I believe, to wrestling, and we as the fans appreciate it. And I damn sure appreciate it. I tweeted him about 4, 5, I think a total now of 10 times, just saying thank you for what he's done, for what he was able to bring to the table of this world that we know as wrestling. Yes, I said wrestling. Yeah, Vince, I know you don't like that word, but yeah, wrestling. Fuck the whole sports entertainment bullshit. He made his living in a 20 by 20 ring, and he loved it. So it was very hard to watch him just say, I gotta step aside. I gotta, as another one of my favorites, Stone Cold Steve Austin, used to say I had to ride into the sunset a little earlier than he liked. And then, speaking of that, it's like Steve Austin, Edge, people like that can understand it more and more. Kind of forced out, quote unquote, because of injury wise. So he was looking at it from a point of view of not just being selfish and saying I can keep going, or I want out of my contract. There's some rumors of that saying that he wanted out of his contract so he can go wrestle somewhere else. But concussions are concussions are a bitch, and you may feel you're okay with one, but then you know two, okay, you're still okay, and then the next one you're okay, but then they start catching up, and you could have some serious ramifications. Maybe not in the present, but in the future, and that's where I saw Bryan looking at it from, is his future, with his family and things like that. It was great to see his mom there. It's great to see his sister there. It was like, you know, the way he talked about his dad, you know, it it was a tearjerker. I mean, I didn't cry necessarily, but I can feel the waterworks coming, and just his passion, and the guy has had some hierarchy matches in the WWE. He's won gold, you know, and he's let's say he beat some good talent there as well. I mean, not a lot of people could say they had beaten the company guy Cena cleanly, clean in the middle, but he has. You know, this is a guy who isn't the biggest, and hell, Vince and Kevin Dunn would not look at him as being that marquee guy to go to, but that crowd got behind him, and I respect him for that. I respect the hell out of him. I've never met the guy. I have friends who have and said he is just a clean cut, clear, honest, decent, good, all around guy that you would love to meet. And the last thing I wrote to him, I remember writing to him saying was, thank you, thank you for everything you've done. I wish you nothing but the best to your future endeavor. May fortune smile upon you. That's pretty much it. That's honest to God, true words that a true fan like myself or you guys out there should give someone like Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, because he will be remembered. Now, into the Hall of Fame, he goes, no, please don't do that. Don't do that. I feel that just because the guy retires and, he's been forced out, so you put him instantly in the Hall of Fame. Why? Why? I felt that was the wrong thing for Edge. I felt kind of a little bit for Eddie, but I'm just glad that Bryan is standing on his 2 feet, because that's the one thing my biggest fear has always been, and it's always been as long as I've been watching this sport and seeing some of my favorites go off and live life and move on to some, because there is life after wrestling. I think people get a misconception. They can't do anything more besides wrestle. No, there's more. Paul Orndorff said it. You can. There is life after wrestling. But I don't like seeing my favorite wrestlers come back and I see them and they're limping. It looks like they're just on a leg and they're limping. They have crutches. They're in a wheelchair. They can barely move. I don't like seeing that, guys. I don't like seeing that. And I know this is a rough sport, and I know that they take the bumps, and but I'm glad to see Bryan's able to move. He's able to, and it was great. So once again, thank you, Mr. Bryan. Thank you, Miss. Thank you. Thank you so much for what you've done, and all your hard work paid off. And you had to ride out into the sunset a little earlier than you expected, but Thank you. Now, the other subject that I wanted to talk about is this is really a head shaker because I am, and it kind of happened right there on after Bryant's farewell. The rest at the rest is they all come out, clap. Vince is out there, hugs, and they go backstage, and you see Titus Oneil playfully grab Vince. Vince pushes off, and I caught it. I'm like, what the hell was that for? You know, day later, next day, Titus is suspended for 90 days. At first, it was 90 days at first. Then I heard it got bumped down to 60. And I'm looking at this, guys, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? And I'm looking at this and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because of that? He's suspended because of that? And I'm like, you should have heard all the swearing I was doing, guys, that yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, Vince, are you getting fucking senile now in your old age? Like, are you kidding me? You suspend a guy for 90 days, 3 months, I believe, because of he's playing with you or something like that. Give me a fucking break. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. The the web blew up from that, and it was trending everywhere. You can think of every social media, it was trending, and it started going from more. Now people started thinking of like, okay, it's motivated on racial tension, and I'm like, please don't go there. And to this now, I'm still trying to figure out. They say misoriented conduct or something like that. I'm like, so you suspend the guy for now 60 days, 2 months because of that? Because he grabbed it. I've looked at that footage as much as I can because WWE, they took that shit down real quick. Yeah, that's good thinking, guys. Yeah, take it down because you don't want to see how stupid and fucking bogus that shit is. I apologize for the cursing people, but that was bullshit. I'm like, are you kidding me? And as much as high as Titus has been getting right now, it's like, yeah, here's this bullshit comes in and this tank. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I had to just shake my head because I'm like, oh, what? Oh, what? Huh? Like, honestly, honestly, I look at this and I'm like, no, they didn't do this. They're saying set an example. Set an example for fucking what? Because he grabbed Vince. Vince pushes off. Looked like nothing was all well, no problem. And then next day, Titus Oneil suspended. He got 90 days suspension. Almost, it felt like I'm thinking, what happened? He failed a drug test? Nope. No, he didn't fail a drug test, Chris. He playfully grabbed Vince and in his bullshit. Man, it's fucking crap. You know, honestly, fellow wrestling fans, I find this just totally stupid. And there's not a person out there, fellow wrestling fan out there, that can tell me any differently that this is bogus. Set an example, my ass. All this is bullshit. And I'm going to leave it at that, wrestling fans. So thank you for listening. This is Wrestling Talk, episode 2. I will see you guys next time. with some more down the road. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.